look for some buildings. Wind just picked up. So how creepy are the ghost towns of North Dakota? I set out to find out for myself. I heard rumors about dogs from hell and a gateway to hell in the town of Tagus. I heard a lot of other rumors about haunted this and haunted that. I'm not a big fan of BS, so I set out to check it out for myself. So tag along and let's see if we can find some creepy stuff. Tagus Street.
In half a mile, you will arrive at your destination.
The oil field really could have brought this town back. People by.
There's vehicles. There must be people living here.
Look at that house there.
Yeah, when I was a kid, there's a lot of these old abandoned ones up this way, and there used to be like video surveillance in some of these old houses.
That one's got an antenna on it. A wire going up to the. You can't see if there's an antenna on that one.
Look at this one here. It's really old and abandoned right there.
That was like a shop or something. It's crazy. It must be on both sides of the tracks.
Might be. Those other ones on this end were ones I totally remember. But like, get up here. It's been 20 years. It's definitely changed. It's not as abandoned as it used to be.
Tagus is gonna have a big comeback. One person would die, and then like the neighbor would just buy the house.
Let's go back through and we'll get some better footage. I think.
Yeah, I don't know about stopping any of those houses. I don't want to get shot. I mean, it's North Dakota. You go in a house that's not yours, they can shoot you. Where do you think the McDonald's was? No, I'm sure like somebody would die, like the elders, the older people that lived out here would die. Their kids had already moved to town, like Minot or Bismarck, and they would just probably buy up the neighbor's lot. I bet one guy owns most of this.
Yeah.
I don't see any no trespassing signs. We should get a plot map book and see if we can figure out who owns it. Look at that. Like an old chair in there. It does say right there, in private property, no trespassing.
It does say that.
But that sign looks really old. Like an old farmstead here. There's like an old windmill. There's like a brick formation, a rock formation.
So like some of these ones, like it might have been this one. I was telling you about that red X on the door.
Oh yeah.
It's one of these ones down here. I can't remember, but or maybe that tore down one now.
Where did that guy live?
Kind of down over here.
It has to be this guy.
Well, that wasn't there though. It was like he had like a trailer house or like a camper, if I remember right. So it might have been one of these two too, but there was a red X on one of the doors, and one of the old guys came and gave us a tour, and I was gonna open it, and he's like, "Don't open that!" It's just the creepiest thing ever.
How many times did you go back and forth before they notice?
Probably not too many.
The car that came through town today?
Maybe, like, I just don't, he had to have been, I don't know where he was.
We could just like knock on their door and be like, hey, we heard this town was like abandoned, and we were wondering like, do you think they'd actually care if we went in there if we don't touch anything?
You could. It's kind of like where that house is, but like, he had like a trailer, like a camper house or like a trailer house. It was a mobile. And there was a horse he had like a horse, a couple horses. So weird. But yeah, in the cemetery, there's like these two black dogs that one night that came running from somewhere.
This is the cemetery.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Like the road is not even, nobody's been out here like other than the county maybe to mow. Tagus. We're out here in North Dakota looking for ghost towns, and we were gonna look for some buildings. Wind just picked up. Wow, there's actually one in these bushes. As soon as I came through that archway right there, like the wind just gusted up. Looks like someone just pulled up. They probably can tell us to get out of their cemetery. So a car pulled up at the other cemetery. I was looking for the oldest headstone. It was actually really interesting. I met the lady, and like she's from this area. And all those houses that we went by, all those decrepit, like rundown houses, those were like her grandparents and her parents and aunt and uncle's houses. And it's a good thing we didn't go in them because they did know we were in this town. I think they must have cameras or something set up. And I probably would too if I wanted to keep people out. They want to keep people out for safety reasons because the buildings aren't structurally sound. And I have to assume there's no insurance. So you probably would be on your own if you got hurt. So... But I talked with her for a while, and she was walking around. We were looking at the cemetery, and she explained to me that, like, there's, like, a main headstone with, like, the family name. And then the reason there wasn't last names on the headstone is because, you go look at the main headstone, it would say, like, the last name of the family. And then in that area around that headstone, it would be the first name and middle initial. And that's the family name there. So that was really interesting. She was really nice. I think she owns the farmland right around that field. But she told us about this cemetery over here. It's funny because the story that my girlfriend was telling you guys about the guy that lived in that trailer that was kind of creeping her out. His name was Galen, and I think that was her nephew. I think Shirley was her name that came up and talked to us. And she said his name was Galen, and she said he's not there anymore. And I don't know if he passed away or if he moved, but she just said he's not there anymore. And so she showed us this cemetery here. You can actually see this cemetery from the other cemetery. And so I'm going to walk around here and see what the oldest headstone I could find is. This is kind of my plan. I'm kind of looking for like the oldest birth date, and then like a really common name. This is not going to become a morbid channel. I'm only doing these types of videos for the month of October for Halloween. So. And she laughed when I said something. I said, well, we Googled ghost towns in North Dakota, and this one came up, which was kind of a lie, because actually my girlfriend told me about this town, but I'm assuming, I know I've seen the Tagus on, like, when you Google ghost towns, and when I told her I'd go Google ghost towns and it came up, she actually laughed. So she was really nice. Well, I think that's it for this town, for Tagus. There's another town 12 miles away. It's called Hartland. We're gonna go check that one out and see what we find over there. Okay, so now we're heading to a town called Hartland. It's saying that we're about 5 miles away. It's about 5 miles up this gravel road here. So we're gonna go check it out. Whoa, look at all these birds. Thousands of them. That's super creepy. If you're from North Dakota, you can tell how far a mile is out here. You just count the tree rows. I'm not that good yet. It's really hard to give directions out here because the directions would be like, there's a hay bale there, there's a telephone pole, and a group of trees. I've gotten those directions before. And the farmer came and got the hay bale. And there's lots of little groups of trees and lots of power lines. So it's really hard to give directions out here. We're getting there. Really careful at these rural railroad crossings in North Dakota because the trains come through here at like 80 miles an hour. There's no lights, there's no warning. Well, there's a creepy little building right there. But I'm sure that these grain bins are still used. You see a train coming that way? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It doesn't say no trespassing. No, we will not go on land that says no trespassing on my adventures. I'm not that brave. I don't want lawyer bills and all that. And I just want to be respectful. I just want to learn some stuff. And then if somebody comes out, then I'll just talk to them. And I haven't trespassed yet, so they can't be mad at me. And then you start that conversation with them, and you learn so much more. And then maybe you ask and see if they'll let you tour the town a little bit. But this is just an old grain elevator along the tracks here. I don't see a no trespassing sign. Yeah, so the grain trucks would drive in people would come in with their grain right there and dump it, and the elevator would lift it up and then sort it, and there's probably different columns in here for wheat and barley and canola and things like that. I don't see a no trespassing sign, but in North Dakota, actually, they don't have to post no trespassing signs anymore. They can post them online, and they're as binding as if the sign was sitting there. Look at that. If you see anybody coming with a gun, just honk the horn. I'm gonna leave the car running. I'm not gonna go in. I'm gonna just poke my head in and look. There's a game trail right here. You can see this game trail. It's really neat. There's a game trail here too. Could be a cougar or a coyote. It's a really creepy sound. Look at that. An old barrel there. What's that from? Farmers Union. Gear lube. If I ever get 1 million subscribers, I'll come back here and go in that door there, if it still exists. That's really neat. I wonder how many senior pictures were taken at this place. It's like super creepy. There's like game trails going into the building. I said if I ever get 1 million subscribers, I'll go in that door, that basement cellar door right there. If this still exists, if they tear it down. See, if you look at that, zoom in here. See all those boards? They look like looks like a bunch of slats. Actually, 2x6s, and they would just stack them on top of each other. Different length of 2x6s, and that's how they built these elevators. They're actually really sturdy. But yeah, it's not just slat boards. It's actual 2x6s stacked on top like cake layers. But let's keep going here and see what we find. Look at these buildings over here. That lady in Tagus, she said that there was an elevator there at one time, and they did load grain out of there. So that's kind of neat. Look at that old tractor. I bet it still runs. They might need some fuel lines. Is that it? Wait, there's somebody still living at that house. That thing looks like it was built in the 1800s. Maybe not. Oh, no trespassing. There's a sign. Well, let's turn around. See, there's a sign there. There's no trespassing. The idea is not to come out here and harass people or There's people that come out here and vandalize stuff and steal stuff. And those people give everybody else a bad name. And so some of these people in these towns are like on alert. They don't get any traffic through here. So when you're the car in town today, all eyes are going to be on you. Here's an old farmstead here. Old clothesline, look at that. We're going away from Hartland now. It's really confusing in this town because this road goes through at an angle. And so we went out and around. I thought we were going to go heading towards the east side of town, but we're actually heading south. So when we go up here to this intersection on the right side, that is Hartland. All those granaries that we just passed, that's Hartland. That's where the map is showing the pin drop for Hartland. So we go back up this road here, that's the town on the right there. I'm not gonna go back into that town, like by those people's house. They're gonna be like, what the heck? Like, there's a lot of people that come out here, like I said, and they steal stuff and they damage stuff and they cause problems. And so when you come to town, they're still looking to give somebody an earful for the last time that people came and caused problems. That's Hartland. 7 hay bales, 6 old creepy granaries. It's saying this group of trees over here is Hartland. That's the actual town. It was actually a lot harder than I thought it would be to record ghost town videos. I thought I'll just show up, film some stuff, and that'll be that. But there's just not a whole lot left of any of these towns. And I don't want to show any modern stuff. I don't want to show anybody's property where they're still living. So now we're going to a town. It's called Aurelia, A-U-R-L-I-A? A-U-R-E-L-I-A. Aurelia. And it's crazy because we were just so happy to get away from that creepy town. There was a car following us on the way out, the headlights, and I was like afraid to pull over because I don't want to get hollered at, hey, leave us alone, whatever. The guy was just in a pickup, just probably trying to live his life. He didn't stop and bother us. But now we have to go back up through that town to get to Aurelia. I think that's what it's called, Aurelia. Aurelia. So it's 11 miles from here. We're gonna go check it out. Hopefully we see some creepy stuff along the way. The fact that it's raining in North Dakota is kind of creeping me out, to be perfectly honest. So we came up here to however you say it. I don't remember how to say it. I'll type it. Aurelia. I'll type it on the screen here. And the only thing I've seen so far is a couple of feedlots for cattle and some farmland. It says here we're supposed to take a sharp right. I'm thinking that that's it over there. Would they want us to drive on the railroad tracks? This is a really dangerous railroad intersection here because it's blocked by this cornfield here. You see any trains coming back that way?
Clear to the right.
I don't see no trespassing sign, do you?
Mm-hmm.
There's tractor, like ruts from tractors.
Where's the sign in this? No,
That's the pipeline sign. Aurelia. Well, this maybe was it over here.
Nice.
Yeah, it's actually really neat. It's half dead though. An old house over there. Oh yeah, look at that old water pump. I mean, this could have been the town right here. There could have been a bunch of buildings right here. This road is like at an angle to town. It's telling me to go off over there. That's the town right there. I don't know, this is really spooky. I hope we don't get stuck out here. Oh yeah. It's a mountaineer. We ain't got nothing. Oh, pulling us in. Well, I see tractor marks on the road, so they probably use this to get to their fields. Yeah, there's power lines and stuff going back here. Probably just gonna be like a grain bins and stuff. Look at that. I don't see a no trespassing sign. It's just an old farmhouse. Something collapsed back there. I'm just gonna assume there's no trespassing. If these videos do good, then I will maybe try and contact some owners and see if they would let us in. Yeah, there's an old house back in there. Well, yeah, the road's really pretty. It's saying we're there right now. This is Aurelia. We'll get home and Google this town and see if there's any old pictures on there. When I got home, I did Google Aurelia, and I did find one picture, but it was copyrighted, and I don't want to get in trouble for this video. So you can Google it yourself if you want to see. But just by that picture, I wasn't able to put together where the town actually was in this little area. And I did learn that Google Earth pin drops are not accurate. So this may not have been exactly where the town was, but it was really close to here. I was thinking in that group of trees. I can't speak for this exact town, but I know a lot of these small ghost towns, the main buildings have actually been moved to pioneer villages and historical societies. A lot of those buildings at the threshing shows I go to came from little communities like this. The rest have probably been demolished. I would probably be wise to stop and ask a neighbor or something, but I just feel like these people have probably been harassed quite a bit because this is on Google Earth as a ghost town in North Dakota, and I didn't want to bother anyone. The next best way I could think of to learn something about the town was to check out the cemetery. I wanted to go check out the oldest birth date and then some of the jobs that people did in the area. No, this is it up here. Yeah, remember, it's past the hay bales. Follow the power lines and then the group of trees. Down the gravel road. Don't forget gravel road. You don't want them to get mistaken for the paved road out here. Aurelia Cemetery. That was from the Aurelia Moravian Church, which was organized in 1903, constructed in 1907, completed in 1907. So the lady was telling me in Tagus that they'll put like a lilac bush around a headstone or next to a headstone, and it'll like grow around all the headstones in that little area if nobody maintains it. So there could be some. Actually, there is one right here. I went in and checked out all the headstones. There were some from pre-1900. I think the earliest one was like 1845 or something like that. I don't want to film any of the headstones. I just want to be respectful and learn a little bit about the town. Okay, so today I'm on my own. I'm heading out to a town called Verendrye. The hard part about these ghost town videos is that there's nothing really to look at in any of these towns. Just a bunch of bushes. Up in Aurelia, we saw there was like a water hydrant left and a couple of old houses. But mostly it's just a bunch of empty fields and some bushes. That's all that's left. I was told that there's actually something to see in this town called Verendrye, so we're going to go check that out. It's an old school front. I made the mistake of looking up Tagus. I just wanted to see what other YouTube stuff was out there on Tagus. And everything, the first thing that came up on YouTube was The Doorway to Hell. And honestly, I met the lady that was born and raised there. She was really, really nice. sounds like her nephew that used to live there was also really, really nice. And he would give people tours of the buildings. You know, and people like that just don't exist out here. So, in my opinion, I don't think that Tagus has the doorway to hell. I think that that was nonsense. Just internet folklore. All right, well, that's a little bit welcoming. It says David Thompson Memorial. And there's an arrow. So let's go check it out. This is David Thompson Monument. Sign placed by Velva Pioneer Daughters. So, I don't know if Velva has a Pioneer Village, but if they do, I would assume that a lot of the buildings from here may be at that show. I may have to check that out some year. This monument just looks like a big sphere. It says David Thompson. I'm trying to see what else it says. 1770. Geographer and astronomer. It says David Thompson, geographer and astronomer, 1770 to 1857. Passed near here in 1797 and 1798 on a scientific and trading expedition. He made the first map of the country, which is now North Dakota, and achieved many noteworthy discoveries in the Northwest. I don't know if you guys can see that. Sun's shining the wrong way. So he passed near here. They made a big sphere. U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey. $250 fine or imprisonment for disturbing this mark. So this says 7th Avenue North. Oh, okay, I see the school front. And this is a city street, I believe. It's got a street sign. Look at that. You can actually see it over there. It is in somebody's farmyard, so I'm not going to go into it. That is wild. I don't see a sign that says no trespassing, but I would assume that we're not allowed over there. The road's blocked by a tractor. Check that out. How cool is that? So I was way off on the Google Earth. But yeah, I'm assuming this was Main Street. I believe this town is addressed to Voltaire now. It's not Verendrye anymore. Everything I've seen online says Voltaire. So I don't know if this is like a private owned farmyard or if this is like a part of a farmer's union type thing or something like that. This is People's Garage. So that's called the People's Garage. And then there's the school right there. God, that'd be really cool to go up there, but like I said, I just don't think they want people in there. I did see online that there's a cemetery just over here. I'm gonna go check out just to see if it says anything neat about the town. Online it shows the cemetery is like just right over here. Maybe it's off. Maybe that's it up on the hill. That looks like maybe it could be a cemetery. I don't see no trespassing here, and this actually looks more like it could be a cemetery to me. And it is. Okay, so that's interesting. It says Verendrye Cemetery. So I'm gonna go in there. If there's anything interesting, I'm not gonna film any of the headstones. I'm just gonna look for the oldest headstone. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's see if we can get in there. See, there's no wind. Let's see if the wind picks up when we go through here. You know, the wind didn't pick up. Gonna look real quick, see what the ages are on the headstones, and then we'll get out of here. There's a few from before 1900. The oldest one I saw is a 1838 and 1842. I'm not gonna say the name, but that's actually older than the ones we saw in Tagus. Well, I guess that's it for Verendrye. Didn't really learn anything about it. There is a railroad line really close to town, and when I was over at the monument there, a train went by. But if I had to guess, this is probably another switch town. Probably a town where they switched the tracks. And it looks like maybe that main street there had a little bit of something going on at one time. That building, you know, was for the school was actually quite large. Yeah, big school, big brick school like that tells me this town was probably pretty happening at one time. But if I had to guess, it would be probably either a switch town or maybe there was an elevator out here. So I don't know. I'd love to know more about these towns. Maybe someday someone will see this and invite me and teach me some things. But otherwise, I just have to put the pieces together myself. Minot is really close to here, about 35, 40 minutes. Nothing to do out here. There is nothing. Look at this. So that was it for Verendrye. If I had to guess, probably most people and the ancestors of most of the people that live there moved to either Minot or Bismarck or possibly Velva. I often complain, and I hear other people complaining, that there aren't very many food choices or things to do in and around Minot, but I could not imagine living out here. There's even less to do. It makes Minot seem like a metropolis by comparison. It's really not hard to figure out why the people left these small towns. However, I have to believe that it's probably pretty peaceful and quiet living out this far from town. Okay, so today we're in Martin, North Dakota, and I don't know if it's technically a ghost town. I have seen it on some of the ghost town lists. There's still an active elevator here, but most of the other businesses, I think all of the other businesses are totally gone. I think there might be a body shop. We're just going to take a quick tour through town here, take a look at some of the abandoned buildings, and then we'll get on our way. But this is right on the line, and this is on a main highway. But I think the problem is, it's just so much better living at both ends of this road. Like, there's Minot, and then there's Jamestown, and there's Harvey in between, which has a grocery store and things like that. And I think a lot of people, I think if you don't have a grocery store and a way to get gas in your town, just in the modern day, I feel like that's kind of like a death sentence for a town, because most people, they want to be able to get gas and food where, near their house. Sheridan County Highway Department. So that's kind of a modern building. It's not a total ghost town. Look at this old, it must be a bar of some kind. Yeah, it doesn't have a name on it. I don't know if it's still an active bar or not. You got a playground right there, so when you're done drinking, you can work that off. There's an old bell right there. Wonder what this is. An old church, maybe? Help wanted, private property. So that's not completely abandoned. So that church looks like it's still active. United Methodist Church. Yeah, I don't know why they call this a ghost town. It's not really. It's just a small town.
I wonder what it was like prior. It's probably just booming.
Maybe. I think there must have been a grocery store there on the Bravada has seen better days. Here's a body shop. Pretty sure that's an active business here. So whoever makes the ghost town list, I don't think Martin should be on it. What do you think?
No. It's more populated than I thought. Or it seems to be.
Yeah. So Some of these houses are actually in really good shape. That house is really nice. Got a nice yard. I can hear the dryer going, so I know there's grain here. It's along the tracks, though. If you look here, they still have a loadout for the train cars, so they can still load rail cars out of this town. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with why it's still surviving. Doesn't look like that gets used very much anymore. So we were on our way to Wing and Arena, North Dakota, and we passed this old schoolhouse. And seen this sign here, I thought, let's check it out. It says Florence Lake School Number 3 Restoration Project. Money provided by a grant from the State Historical Society funded by the state legislature. Additional funds provided by private donations. It says Sterling Number 2. Well, the hasp doesn't have a lock on it. Doesn't say no trespassing. Let's look in here. We don't want to fall through the floor or something. Well, if you look in there, you can't really see. One of us has to stay out there for an alibi.
That's me.
Look at this old chalkboard. Whoa, that is crazy. You can come in if you want. It smells like hantavirus to me. I'm going to cover my mouth. The floor feels pretty soft. Old desk. That's a modern plug right there. Old desks. There's another door over here. What's this? Must have just been storage. Well, that's really neat. Are you gonna go check it out?
I see now the mouth.
Just cover your mouth because it smells like rat droppings and there could be hantavirus. So I wonder if this was moved here or if it's the original. I don't know. Well, that's pretty neat. I want to go look at that. There's a chimney. I want to go. I didn't see a fireplace in there. Oh, you shut it? Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
All right, one time.
If it's just keep answering.
Yeah, this. I just want to see if it's like an old wood stove or if it's a furnace. So that's the old chimney right there. I bet at one time there was some kind of a coal stove or a wood stove. That old desk. Yeah, mice live in there. It's a neat old schoolhouse. Probably little farms all around here. Little houses. And I suppose they would maybe ride their horse to school here. You got any hand sanitizer?
it stunk too bad, and I was afraid to ingest something or something as soon as being there.
Well, there is hantavirus in North Dakota, so yeah, that's pretty neat. On to the next destination. So this is Wing, North Dakota, and I've seen that on the ghost town list before. I've been through here. I hauled an oversized load to Bismarck one time, and they routed me through here. So I didn't know at the time that it was a ghost town. It looks like they have a Cenex, and they actually have like the light up numbers for the price, so maybe it's not that big of a ghost town. But let's roll through and we'll check it out. I feel like if you can get gas and food in a town, then it's not a ghost town. There are such things in North Dakota as small towns, which is not a ghost town. It's just a small town. So it looks like Wing had the big comeback here with the new Cenex. Hey, we didn't have to go to the bathroom on the side of the road. We could have gone here. I'm gonna roll through there and just see if they have like groceries. See if they have any kind of groceries in that store. You have your shirt and shoes on? How's it going? Do they have the good lure?
This one looks fun.
That looks close, but like they drew lines on it.
And it's a pretty one.
Yeah, they're all stocked up now. Something smells good in here. 1.5 ton chain hoist. 1 ton chain hoist. Huh. So they got some groceries. Ooh. Those are really good. You see what I got? Pumpkin spice and White Claws. Those are really good. I've never had the pizza one, but I had the ham and cheese one. The ham and cheese ones are really good. It's like a tortilla, deep fried tortilla. I'm saving room for
Yeah, me too.
Charas. Are those
Scotch or goose?
buttermilk donuts?
Do you want some?
No, but I've never seen buttermilk donuts before, and I'm on my lifelong search for my dad, just in case. So what do you think of the gas station? It had like you could live here and shop there. You know what I mean? Like you could, stuff was a little bit of it expensive, but it wasn't like.
What is gas a gallon out here? Oh, it's not bad compared to town.
It's about the same as in mine, huh?
About 10 cents cheaper.
Yeah, but they had like bread and they had peanut butter and jelly. They had some like frozen potato stuff, so you could live here. But this is new. It does say now open, and you can see that the concrete is brand new. Well, let's drive through this town and see what's so ghostly about it. Wing welcomes you. Wing City Park. So if we had kids and we lived here, they have, looks like they have the Death Trap 80. Oh, we have the Broken Teeth 200. That's not bad. That's not bad for a park, you know, in a town this size. So let's go down Main Street and see. It looks like, look at that. There's a gathering of the minds. Is that everyone in town? It certainly looks like it. It's like New York City, like the way they cross it. You ever seen the people crossing the street in New York City? I think every single one of them qualifies for Social Security. So let's go check it out. There's the Wing Lodge. Chat and Chew Cafe. You know what? We're pretty close to Bismarck. So how many hipsters? Look at the old post office there. Look at this over here, Wing Theater. Look at this. I'll turn around and come back so you can get a better view. Senior Center, Golden Wing Club. This is Main Street. There's a manufactured house right on Main Street. How many hipster people live in Bismarck and commute down there every day that live here, you know, because this is probably super cheap. I bet you could get a house in this town, like a livable house, for $40,000. And then you would have like a 40-minute commute if you worked in Bismarck. That's the school. It doesn't look too far gone. Let's go back down Main Street and you can get a better view of that at the theater, because that's pretty neat. You should see if there's any houses for sale. Just see it, and then we can look them up on Zillow. But I bet you could get a house in this town for $40,000 to $50,000, and then you'd have a little commute to Bismarck. You know what? I bet, yeah, the Corvette Club is here. That's the Corvette Club. I wonder if that's the one that Tamay's in. Anybody coming that way? Oh, it's a four-way, but yeah, look at this. So that's the old meat shop. Looks like it's still in operation. They got a gas station, Terry's Service and Sales. He's gonna sell you some stuff. So that's pretty neat. Looks like the Corvette Club came up here. Envoy next week. This town's coming back. All those people that are tired of the housing prices in Bismarck, they're coming here, I'm sure of it. So, is Wing, North Dakota still on the ghost town list? I'd say no. It's a happening metropolis. We'll go around and come through one time. Look at that old building there. See better days. Their little city shop. This isn't a ghost town. It's just a small town. What's that say? Oh, that's the county highway department. Fresh pavement? You can see fresh pavement in a ghost town. What in the heck? Last time we had old people, now we have kids. They all changed. So just our simple act of driving around this town has turned a bunch of old people into a bunch of kids on bikes. This town's big enough that they're not out scoping out like who's driving through town. Haven't seen a bar. Have you seen a bar? It is. If there's no bar in this town, it's definitely a ghost town. Because that's the only thing there is to do in North Dakota is the bar and church. Does it say Wing on it? Wing, North Dakota. No longer a ghost town. A booming metropolis. I could live here. Like, 30, 40 minutes from Bismarck. Could you live here? Maybe. Like it's happening. There's stuff going on here.
There's the coffee house.
Look at that old Ford Highboy back in there. Get that old white truck right there. That old one back there. That's a Ford Highboy. Oh. Town is full of goodies. Alright, have you seen enough? Are you satisfied? Are you not entertained? That's what the Russell Crowe says in Gladiator. This is our Gladiator model. Elevator, I don't think that elevator is active. They might still use some parts of that, but I don't think very much. Well, that's the end of Wing. Hope you enjoyed. St. John's Arena. Looks like the old elevator must be someone's private farmyard right now. And the old church. Are they ghost towners too? More ghost towners? So this is Wing, or Arena. Hey look, they got a tree spade. So I'm gonna say that nobody lives there. They got that old Mac tree spade. That's nice looking. The old schoolhouse. It says no trespassing. This is somebody's old house. This looks like some old like Stockman buildings. Old farmstead. And this looks like the old church. Has seen better days. Someone should recover that cross before this whole thing goes down. That's actually really neat. It doesn't say no. Maybe? Where'd those other people go? They're just gone. Yeah, maybe we can... It doesn't say no trespassing, but I don't want to... That thing is not...
It doesn't look stable.
Yeah, it doesn't look stable at all. That's actually leaning towards the car. But that cross looks like it's made out of metal. If you look over here, there's a bunch of rocks. That could have been a foundation for something. Wow, that's so neat. Which way are the birds heading? Hey, they're going south. You got it. The birds need to go the other direction. We need the birds going north. I don't think that this is... Thinking that we're probably beyond where we're supposed to go. There was another car when we got here. Maybe another YouTuber. Who knows? Maybe senior photos. But this here looks like a field that they actually hay. I bet they hay this field. This is Arena, right? Oh yeah, this is Arena Street right here. Arriving at Arena. I think they did a pretty good job of getting us to Arena. What do you think? Okay. Where did that car go? But I would bet there maybe used to be buildings here, and that church was just kind of the end of the line. But this whole area is a big loop. Like... So, is Arena a ghost town?
Yes.
Yes. Is it haunted?
Probably.
I don't think so.
Go in that church at nighttime?
Probably not. No, definitely not. Mostly because it's leaned over and about to fall down, not because of ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the church. This is the school. This is the tree movers. I have no idea where the grocery store was. But it's showing that this whole block in here, and that road that we came in on, it's showing that like this is the town. Hey, look at all them good looking gals over there. Can I invite those girls over for a barbecue?
No.
What? What about portions of them?
Perfect.
Okay. Her? I don't know her. Should we cross water on both sides? No shoulder. The Truman Show. This is how they kept Truman from leaving town. It didn't work for the people in Arena, North Dakota. So like when a town like this shuts down and like closes up shop, does the guy that buys all the land, is he like the new mayor of that town? They're actually really tall. That's a cattle trailer right there. Cattle wagon. So that's Arena, North Dakota. Now can we go get some food? Could be an old railroad bed right there. That how it's raised up right there. Railroad could have come through here at one time. So what do you think? Do you think that the ghost towns in North Dakota are haunted?
Tagus, I do.
I don't think so. I don't know. I think they're creepy, but I don't think they're haunted.
Would you go to any of them at night?
Definitely not. Driving by and I saw this. It says Finn Hall. Established 1919. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm wondering if that's short for Finnish. My last name is Finnish. I'm not Finnish. The Finns are like tall, handsome, and intelligent. So strike 1, 2, and 3 for me. But what is this? Finn Hall. Hey, there's bathrooms. Let's check it out. It doesn't say like what it is. They got a picnic table. Are you hungry? We're gonna have to get home and do some research on this one. It must have just been some kind of a gathering house. And it was either named after someone named Finn, or it was a place where Finnish people gathered.
Looks like it's locked.
The Mercury does not like the tall grass. It looks, yeah, it's definitely locked. And it looks like it had some kind of paint done to it. Oh, don't worry, it's just a ghost back there. Just relax, Mercury. So, haunted or not? No, it's not haunted.
No.
You want to have your next birthday here? They have picnic tables.
Sure.
Okay, just call me and let me know how it goes. Thinking that's it for this ghost town video. I know it's just a lot of B-roll in the car here. I'm not a big time YouTuber. Maybe if these do good, maybe I would do some more research and try and get a hold of some people and get into some of these buildings and do some more historical type buildings. I do love history. I'm not a historian. I didn't go to school for anything like that, but it's still really neat. We're like so far from anything right now. There's nothing around us. There is telephone poles. There are some probably farmsteads out here and ranches, but yeah, we're really literally in the middle of nowhere, and there's just this building. So